So, we are just starting to make the recording. I created presentation, and you can see the title, what are my needs as an English teacher, English language teacher, and I'm going to put you through this presentation, and I'm going to talk about it. So we are going to talk about traditional classroom settings, modern classroom settings. There are totally different settings, and there's different technique for teachers, and we know about it, right? We know about it. But then I wanted to show my way of looking for things to improve my teaching. So I have started using blended learning technique, and it really improved my teaching, and my students were very happy about it. It's different technique, and all of you know about it, that the traditional classroom, where instructor prepares material to be delivered in class, and students just listen to lectures and other instructions in class and take notes. And of course, at the end of the class there's a homework, and this is assigned to demonstrate understanding. So we are talking here about the passive learning. But on the contrary, flipped classroom gives totally different setting. Instructor records and shares lectures outside of class. Students watch or listen to lecture before coming to class. This is exactly what I'm doing right now, because today I'm having my class on WizEQ. I would like my students to listen to this screen customatic and think about the different questions and different topics. And when the class time comes, we do different things. We have a lot of learning activities and more higher order thinking tasks. It's absolutely more active, and students receive support from instructor, from me, and from their peers. It's collaboration and cooperation we are talking about in here. And now the flipped class is one that inverts the typical cycle of content, acquisition and application, so that students gain the necessary knowledge before class, as I told you before. And instructors, the teachers, give students to actively and interactively clarify and apply that knowledge during the class. So, like the best classes have always done, this approach supports instructors playing their most important role of guiding their students to deeper thinking and higher level of application. A flipped class keeps students learning at the heart of instruction. Look at the picture here, and we can see the model. Before the class, students prepare some materials. During the class, they work on these materials, but deeper and deeper, and actively they're trying to ask and answer more questions. And after the class, there's always something to talk about. There's always something to read and extend the learning, because out of the class you have the activities before and after the class. Flipped classroom, and this is a very nice picture, but it's not very good quality. I'm sorry about that. Flipped classroom. Now what? Synchronous group activity, games, arts, hands-on activities, experiments. And so what? Asynchronous, individual. Look, reflecting, podcast, reflecting, video cast, tests. And what asynchronous, individual, online chats, content through website, postcards, video lectures. So this is totally different environment for flipped classroom. Its student needs to be really very active. And then we have the difference about a flipped classroom. And also, I'm showing you using Jink here differences. Old classroom, the teacher in front of the pupils, students are just listening and taking notes. And here, flipped classroom, discussion, cooperation, learning through preparation, and there are so many opportunities. The students could ask so very many questions, and instructor can anticipate where student needs the most help. Instructor, teacher guides the process with feedback and mini lectures, right? And then there are some information of analysis about the students learn to explore topics more deeply and broadly. As a result of students accepting responsibility, which is very important, interacting meaningfully and often with their instructor and peers, and generating and giving frequent feedback, they gain a richer understanding of the content and how to apply it. Students are more active participants in learning. The student's role shifts from passive recipient to active constructor of knowledge. So all of this is to give them opportunities to practice using the intellectual tools of the discipline, of the language teaching in this case. Just a second. Interaction increases and students learn from one another, and this is the most important. They work together, and they are being guided by instructor, by teacher, and this increases interaction and helps to create a learning community that encourages them to build knowledge together inside and outside the classroom. Instructors and students generate more feedback, with more opportunities for students to apply their knowledge and therefore demonstrate their ability to use it. Gaps in their understanding become visible to both themselves and the instructor, the teacher. And here is another picture showing very briefly how are those differences named before class, beginning of the class, during the class, after the class. And also there are office hours. And during the office hours, a teacher is supposed to help students to understand and guides students towards deeper understanding. Traditional setting. Most students and teachers take the traditional classroom environment beneficial for learning. And why is that happening? Because they can interact with the instructor and their schoolmates. Particularly for people who learn better through cooperative actions and group study. The possibility of asking questions and receiving immediate answers is significant. But students assigned something to learn. Students guided through a learning module that asks and collects questions. And the instructor prepares lecture. The instructor sets up learning opportunities. At the beginning of class, students have limited information about what to expect because they didn't have anything to do before the class. And the students receive specific questions in mind to guide their learning. And this is all the time the traditional setting. And traditional setting again. During the class, take a look at that. After the class, and during the office hours. But let's go further. Technology enhanced learning. This is what I'm interested in. Whether it be through textbook made possible through the invention of the printing press, an overhead projector, a film strip, or an online stimulation, teachers have always looked to technology to provide students with higher quality learning experiences. Innovations in content delivery, assessment methods, and adaptive learning are changing education in the 21st century. This is what I'm really, really interested in and fascinated by. New technologies are enhancing our understanding of how students learn and providing instructors the ability to customize course materials and create personalized learning experiences tailored to students' individual needs. Emerging online learning models encourage students to be more active participants in their own learning, allowing them to not just be content consumers, but content creators as well. And multimedia tools. What technology? Why technology? Educational technology integration. Where technology fits in. When to use technology. Technology for whom? And multimedia in education. The questions what, why, where, when, for whom. This is what I'm going to talk about in the second part of our recording. So thank you very much for listening and welcome to the second part.